All right, welcome everyone. Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Witch Hat Atelier, Episode 8. Oh, the Knights Moralis.
They are here, and, Coco.
Yeah.
You're in trouble. Kiefer not here.
Yeah, they got this white, little command, spell seal thing here with, an eye thing and hands that extend out from it.
Yep.
I didn't see the glyphs that make it summon little hands.
Right.
Why is the truth coming out of the little...
And what is it about that device? I know this is such a little thing, but there didn't look like there was any completing of the circle or whatever, but then also this was a solid implement. So this is
right,
that next
which
level
means it's
of magic stuff.
Maybe, which means it's there's something actually built into it itself that we're not seeing visually. Either way, that's crazy.
Yep.
Or also something to just, think about here. They just came up here, asked maybe just questions to clarify, hey, it's not right that we potentially destroy both of your magic careers. And clearly,
someone did this.
Someone did this. So
fess up.
Quick. Do it now. Okay, nothing personal, kid.
Kiefer is probably on his way. Not fast enough.
Nope.
Agate, think quickly. And
every second counts here.
Say something that will make them realize that there is more information to glean, so that at the very least they wait that extra 10 seconds so that maybe he can show up and be like, whoa, back off.
Yeah, something like, hey, this is the person that Kiefer brought in that was an outsider that, wasn't supposed to do this, and thus they have information about the brimmed caps and all that.
Right.
And then this could be your excuse to be like, hey, we'll bring her back to our base and we can leverage the fact that she did something like this to then get information out of her and all that.
If the brimmed caps, the brimmed caps, you say, well, we actually ran into them earlier. Maybe this is some crazy nonsense that they did to us, Maybe you should investigate before you
Right. If you remove the memory, then you don't get
no
info
evidence,
Well, no, you don't get the info that can lead you to them and actually help you out in general in your whatever your conflict way it's structured against them when you can't cast spells on people.
Not saying,
actually, probably you guys probably can break that rule. I don't know.
Right. Not saying, of course, that you shouldn't obliviate her. Of course. But maybe before you do that, just there's more info to be had here.
Yeah. But y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Be not afraid. Yeah. Oh, it's like a creature.
Okay.
Oh shit! Ah! Oh no! Wait! Oh,
awesome. Yes, sand pillow.
Oh, fantastic.
Wait!
Yeah! Well, yes, they're children.
We can tell.
Oh,
damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, now at this point it's okay.
Oh, cool detail. The way that these things are conjured.
Uh-huh.
Oh! Yes.
Oh! Yeah!
Oh, calling out his name directly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So what the hell was this? Sure.
Yeah, so maybe the way that they got this is more important. Yes, actually, it's possible.
Very possible. And if that's the case, then that's worth investigating, yes?
Yeah, there's people here that need our help. What? That's not how that works. Yeah, healing people with magic opens up the whole can of worms.
Yep.
But even more so, doing it in front of other people is thing that they're already not allowed to do at all.
Right.
知らざる者が去ったら改めて精査せねばならん。
Okay. We're gonna ask you some questions, probably.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's
All right.
let's see if we all sit down and I don't know, eat some beef stew together and
Right.
chill the fuck out. Like,
Yeah, talk about everything that happened. Given that the Knights Moralis are like the big enforcers, right? I'm very curious what they do for things where it's not that you're doing forbidden magic, but you're doing something like what they did, where it's the, hey, we're not supposed to cast magic in front of other people. We did something to make it so that they wouldn't have seen it, but we still did break a rule, but it's like a minor infraction at that point, you know?
Yeah.
手を見せろ。
Ooh, cool. No, this
つ
is
ばり
good.
棒は時々魔法
Yes, tattoos.
Okay.
Tattoos. Oh, we need to learn about them. Yeah.
育ちたてのペンダコに魔木で汚れたって
Yeah.
気をつけることだな。
Cool. All right.
It felt like he had a gut instinct on something there. And then he turned her hand over and was like, wait. I wonder if it's something in like her blood or like something.
Yeah.
記憶はその人の人生そのものだ。そういったものを天秤にかける行いをしたんだよ。
True.
Yep.
True. Like it's a horrifying type of magic.
Oh, yeah.
実務に同行する実力が十分にあると認められる。
You've demonstrated that you're able to, so now let's...
で、魔法を使わないと
Make it legit.
約束できるかい？
He's got that like Dumbledore kind of
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
well, but, you know, like.
先生レディアたちは
You guys aren't ready yet.
試験嫌いだからどうでもいい試験って他にもある
So many more tests.
今はそうじゃない。
Yeah.
それなら僕は
Yeah.
信じてあげるべきかなって。
And
Not
she's...
just with me, but
Right.
with her friends now. Yeah.
早く帰って練習したいです
ちょっと待って。
No way. What is he
No
about to do?
way. Is he gonna...
あともう一つやるべきことがある。
We should set the river free.
石化した家で証拠を探すのは無理だ。
Ah, gotcha.
自白させるしかあるまい。見ろ。あの魔法のせいで
Whoa.
Oh my god.
そうして美しかった元の風景は永久に失われてしまうのだ。
Yeah, it's easy to destroy something. It's hard to
Right.
build it.
Oh!
オルーギオのペンは特殊でね。
Nice, so that way there's a bridge.
石や木に魔法陣を焼き付けることができるんだ。
Oh, that's awesome.
That's so,
That's so
cool.
cool. Yeah, turn it into sandstone.
人化魔法の効果が切れ始めたんだろう。
Oh.
ここ、
Yeah, get her stuff back.
落とし物。
Oh.
あれおかしいな私の魔木全然減ってない
Wait.
小瓶とかなんですか
No.
見せてもらえるかい？
先生
Oh. Is there
Oh,
something
shit.
on the little bind there?
Maybe.
Oh.
Maybe it's an illusion and she actually used up like half of it.
嘘は
Oh,
近づけばバレるもの。
Oh. In the ink itself. Oh.
いつまで隠しておけるかな。
maybe to give them some control over the ink. And so she goes to like
Or,
use it to make a
or
spell.
even just to
and then-
just to enhance it.
Sure.
I'm gonna take
オル
this.
ギオ、先にみんなを連れて、
Yeah.
I have some
I
experiments
I
to
need
do.
to have something analyzed.
この間の騒ぎで個々のペンを買いそびれてしま
Did you see how he'd already pocketed the things? It wasn't in either
Yeah.
hand.
じゃあ土産に呪蜜酒。
Oh, of
初
course.
摘みと熟成もの1本ずつ。
よし。
Nice trade. Babysitting for some alcohol.
確認したいことがあるんだ。
Yep.
I love whenever Keyfree gets serious.
Yes.
Cause it
ドアが消えてる
fun.
ああ、しまった。今日はおみ、
They're closed. Yeah.
That's great.
タータくん。よかった。ノルノアさんに用があっ
Yeah, and I forgot the special members entrance code, you know.
Yeah. Nice.
Ah, that makes so much sense.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I love it.
どうぞ入って
Coco's just like,
You just take the doorknob. It's wonderful. Yeah, and everything's still in the shop. It's just
と部屋が全然違う
it was 4 stone walls before.
ドアノブによって部屋が
oh my god, yes!
私はここ
ここその右足の毛がはい
Oh.
いたわりそうがあるから貼ってやるよ
Oh.
Oh, okay.
このいろんな色の粉は何
Cobalt?
マゾメの染料だよ
Yeah, yeah.
魔木の効果を強化するための混ぜ物なんだ
Oh.
So we're getting
Altering the effects of ink, yeah.
right. But then also tattoos being something that could end up getting mixed with the blood that's
Sure.
inside a person.
Yep.
Yep.
なんて
Oh, the
な
floating chair.
分
Love
かっ
it.
とるよお前さんの用事は
You do, huh?
さんは何か掴んだのかね
Cool.
1.
あるものを手に入れて
This might help. Yeah, something's off about it.
Yep. Use that as a control substance, and then
似ておるいやほのかな青みが全く同じじゃ
Whoa.
oh shit!
ちょっと待てこれは
Yeah.
わしのビ
You guys got this from my shop.
キーフリー
Probably like a very basic spell, but still.
天井のところの大きなやつ
あれは月相か
Hopefully there's not an explosion and that thing comes falling down.
Yeah.
白くてキラキラしたやつは
花嫁町の鱗粉だよあれを混ぜると魔木が透明になって
Oh,
Oh no.
that's terrifying.
That's probably what he was noticing, something on her hand, maybe.
すごい
Right, but also the idea that these things come from parts of magical creatures
right.
that have some of the traits within them themselves.
I love that theoretically, what's wrong with it is all stuff that you could buy just at
Yeah.
the shop.
タータくんが羨ましい
I feel ya.
He's like, you'd get sick of it eventually.
あれあの棚
Oh,
Wait.
what are you doing?
だから何段目のどれだよ
Can he not see it?
すっごく赤くて目立つやつだよ
Oh no.
Oh shit!
なんだ
Didn't
今
hear
の
any
光
sound of glass
No.
breaking, but
よかった瓶が割れてなくて
Yeah, they probably have spells on the glass specifically.
Sure.
よくないよ
Oh no.
最悪だ
Oh.
they were
ラベルが外
Oh no. Oh no.
じいちゃんから触るなって言われてたのに
shit.
めちゃくちゃだ
ごめんね
No!
No,
Stop!
don't touch anything.
置いてある場所で種類を覚えただけ色で見分けたわけじゃない
Oh, he's colorblind. Oh. Oh.
ごめん
It's not that he can't see
帰
them.
ってくれ
It's
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
Just
Oh,
go. Just go.
oh,
Just
oh.
go.
銀ダミ症の俺の目じゃ
Whoa.
いくら勉強しても魔法使いにはなれないように
Oh. Wait, maybe it's even more than that.
Maybe.
大丈夫かね
He's like, I'm blind.
あんな小さな魔法陣であの規模の威力とは
これはおそらく双子瓶の魔
Oh, it's linked to another bottle.
Ah.
減った分だけ増えたのは謎の混ぜ物で
Right. So what we need to do.
やっと捉えた
Oh.
No, because it's a link. This is a way that we can follow it backwards.
このようにあっちゃならんわしの手には余る代物
I need to report this. Yeah.
兵団も大行動も誰の手に渡してもダメだ僕らが気づいたことでさえ
Right. We can use this to go back.
ごめんなさいノルノアさん
What happened after?
We will be left to guess.
間違えてすごく高価なものを渡しちゃったみたい
Nice.
Yeah.
儲かったからこれを使って
Yeah. That solves the immediate problem. She sells ink to work with and all that. Yeah.
先生銀ダミ症って
Yeah. What is that?
生まれつき世界があらゆるものが銀色に覆われて
Yeah, color blindness. Yeah.
僕は君を全力で守るすることは何もないんだ
All right.
何もね
Now, when do we see the shop?
光何だったの？キーフリーさんの魔法？
はて光？何も光っとらんよ。
Well,
All right, Knights
okay.
Moralis were handled. River is going to be returning eventually.
Right.
We got everyone back, and it's all good.
we can't undo the damage done, but we can figure out something new.
Oh
Build the
yeah,
bridge.
yeah. So
Cool.
there's going to be the river's going to come back though. The
Right.
damage is not so horrendous that it won't be, ever the same. It just
Right.
will take many decades for the
Yeah.
river to reform and everything in the same measure.
And it's just going to be real sandy there.
Yeah, and then eventually rocks will form and all that. But okay, the ink bottle that Coco had
Yep.
from when the Twin Cap member ended up encountering her in that kind of dark, alternate
Yeah.
space.
She
Basically,
messed with her ink.
Messed with her ink and
Yep.
twinned the bottle in such a way.
Right. Which I like it. So we've got some sort of sympathetic magic going on here where now it's like, okay, you can do all kinds of stuff to your ink bottle, and then oh hey, that affects her ink. Cool.
Right. And what's fun about this is Keyfree clearly could use this to be a connection point to the brimmed caps.
Sure.
And thus it's kind of the thing of detecting the bug in your office where you
Right.
then go, oh, cool. Now I know that I'm being bugged. I can feed information. I
Yep.
can utilize this. I can
Use-
potentially even study the radio signal that's coming from
Exactly.
this to
Tell
something
where
else
it's going
to
or
know
something
where it's
like
going.
that, or who it ties to.
And since this is magic,
Yep.
there's no telling
Right.
how many things that this will help him if he's actually like trying to
Oh yeah.
undermine the brimmed caps in some
Yep.
way.
And
the
so
problem is was that he just used the memory erasing
Oh.
spell on this guy here like it's nothing.
Like it's nothing, but it's not just that.
Yeah.
Keyfree once again demonstrated that he does not see the kid as really being a threat or something to think about. Almost like he has that kind of opinion of children that was mentioned by the kids when dealing with, the Knights Moralis.
Yep.
And so
Yep.
now it could be something where he just doesn't see it as being a problem, or he sees it as that is a problem for tomorrow or next year or whatever.
Yeah.
And by the time that becomes an issue, it won't matter too much.
Sure.
And given that this is a big find, okay, that could be pretty crazy. But like, even though you wiped the other guy's memories, Kid is like, there was a bright light up there. My master was up there with just you. If he goes to the Knights Moralis and is like, there's something wrong with my master's memory, and he was alone in a room with Keyfree.
Yeah, this could be Keyfree's undoing, potentially.
Yep.
The thing that's telling about us, though, is that he sees the ink bottle's existence and him being able to have full access to it with nobody else being the wiser is more important than those consequences potentially happening.
Which is
he's
wild.
willing to run the risk, basically, because once he realized what this was, he got emotional. Like, he was holding and cradling the ink bottle with like this precious, like pulling it to his mouth. Like, that's the body language of someone that's like, I've been waiting so long.
Oh, yeah.
And that has nothing to do with Coco.
Nope.
Like, that's the part that's wild here.
Yep.
That kind of reaction is far larger, at least in my mind, than something that deals with directly with Coco.
Oh, absolutely.
It feels like someone who's like been struggling for so long, and they get this.
Yeah.
Yes, I did it.
And so
I have it.
It's very fun for several reasons. One, it continues to up the stakes of the story and
build
give
the
us,
mystery of
and build the
Keyfree.
mystery of Keyfree, and additional understanding for the world and how it works and all of that stuff, right? Like, just the idea that inks can be messed with and everything. Neat. That makes sense.
Well, because now we know that what the kids use is kind of the most bog standard, good quality, but bog standard, no additives mixed with the ink, magic ink, which is good because if you're learning magic, you don't
want something consistent. Yeah,
you don't want other stuff in there that's going to be different than when you use another one.
Right.
Like if you go back to the standard and you're like, wait, why did my spells not last as long?
Yeah,
for some
exactly.
reason?
It's going to be difficult enough to learn magic vanilla. Don't try and, be throwing unnecessary layers on top of it.
I love this magic system so much because there's something about the ink being different that actually ties things even more tightly together, despite it being a whole new avenue for the magic system to evolve.
Yep.
Because outside of the 3 elements of a spell on a seal, like you kind of end up actually pretty gated in terms of what you could do.
Sure.
Depending on not just how the seals work, but with where we thought, or at least where we've been shown, that the spell casting gets more complicated, is that you add more circles.
Right.
Because it's not a single spell, it's a spell interacting with other spells to then be bound within an entire circle to then do another spell.
And
so that makes sense as being a point for something, but having the ink, I have theories.
It also addresses one of the potential issues where if you want to have people doing like crazy, awesome, powerful magic, like the, golden dragon thing that Kefri summoned, right? Theoretically, that'd be something where it's like, all right, first, let me get my, gigantic 6-foot by 10-foot banner, and then draw this massive circle on it or whatever, right?
Absolutely.
And so that, clearly that's not something that's going to be a regular, right? So, okay, it's not just the circles, it's also the ink. Great. Well, that addresses it fine.
Well, the ink brings up the question of actually whether or not what you use to implement the actual drawing itself matters. One of the things that we saw from Ulrugio this episode was that he has a special pen that burns and sears the actual circle and implements of the spell onto a hard surface so that they don't disappear over time as easily.
Yep.
That's much better when you're working with solid building construction-based stuff, which is why he's also the person that does the pressure plate stuff.
Yep.
You would probably
Makes
want
sense.
to actually like laser score the solid surface in that regard, because if it's going to be contacting another surface as much, that causes a problem.
Right.
But then the actual thing that this all ties to in a very fun way, which is why I think that the ink part is genius. Ink is just ground up material, actual like solids put into liquid form just for the convenience of being able to then draw with it.
Right. It'll stain nicely, and so then, okay, cool, we make it liquid and we draw with it. Yeah.
Right. But one of the things that was kind of something you could have sidestepped with the idea of drawing was that it's not actually what is in the ink that matters. It's all just the shape. It's all just the visualization of it.
Yep.
Now, what
we don't know what magical component makes ink magic ink, but
no, we do now. We do now, though. We actually had a couple examples of it.
No, yes, right. We had some examples, but I'm more thinking like for the bog standard, like.
Totally. But I want to bring up the stuff that they use as a representation here. This is actual pieces of magical creatures.
Yep.
We want to talk about like where this world is going in terms of the origin of the magic, and we have to keep a good society in place, otherwise things are going to get really horrifying. No, the very ink that you use is potentially itself a very, very thin veneer over it of where this world is actually quite horrifying to begin with.
And then where does the magic of the creatures come from? Why is it that they are magical, right? Is it just because they're creatures that don't exist in our modern world, or is it something else?
Well, so if we take memory, if we take objects and the objects themselves having a form of memory, the idea that, well, if we grind them down to their base components,
sure,
a wing of some silver butterfly thing or what have you.
Yeah.
Why is it that we need to inscribe the spells onto objects? Why can't these spells be drawn in the air? In this society, in this world, we are seeing an actual limitation that we never really realized was a limitation, because so many magic worlds and systems have them drawing the runes and symbols in the air.
Right.
It's actually more about the motion, like the somatic aspect of making it connect these things. But this, it needs to be actually like persistent and tangible, but also attached and grounded onto something else.
Sure, but really the grounding it into something else is making it so that way you don't need magic in order to do magic, right?
Right.
Yes, the inklet might
Right.
be magical, but you don't, like, theoretically, if you had someone that was telekinetic, right? They could hold the ink into a circle in the air, right? It's just way better if you put it on paper or a stone or something.
Totally,
like that.
it's more convenient. But the
Yeah.
idea that if the ink is actually not just this is just the means to get it into this shape, because any shape would work, but it's actually that the ink is extremely important. Like, you can't do this without an actual...
Yeah, you couldn't just take some regular dye and just be like, all right, cool, here we go.
Right. What I would want to know then is it actually that these things that the ink is drawn from, because I'll have to go back and look at the scoring one, but that one might have actually had something that it wasn't just burning, but it was also burning a material onto the stone.
Yeah, like it's with our current understanding of the world, if it's burning it into the stone, it is also heating up the ink as it's doing it, and that's okay. And so it's just, the nib of the pen gets really hot, and so that burns it into the thing, and then it leaves the ink behind it or whatever. And that's how it works.
Yeah, Orugio's got a special pen. It's called a sear wire wand. It lets him burn casting seals into rocks and trees.
And I get the feeling that he is still leaving ink behind, and maybe because it's also burning it, it kind of fuses it into the stone, right? Where it's
the part where maybe there's something to it is this horn or this tooth that is kind of the adding part there. If there's some kind of liquid in there that's...
Sure, yeah, I would not be surprised especially if it's a special kind of pen, that you get rid of the ink bottle altogether and just make it so that it's like that. That's what we do with our pens in modern day, right?
Yeah.
You fill up the cartridge or whatever, however the pen holds it, and then the pen holds it, and there you go.
Right. This is just an example of something where the circle, if you will, for this one is also not obvious at all, where the burning is happening. That's magic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So like the
nib itself is not red hot.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I am seeing the way in which we are headed towards a more scientific alchemical, I know that is contradictory in some ways, but a more scientific and alchemical base of this magic system. And that is that at some point, you had objects themselves that have the actual innate essence of what magic is.
Yeah.
Like whatever that is.
Right.
And people gave it form. They added their unique flavor to it.
The same kind of thing of, discovering in some basic form the laws of physics and then coming up with inventions, right? Like it might be a rule system that we as humans currently do not have, but in this world it's another one of the ones that's out there. And so, there's also these creatures, and they have some element of connection to this law of the universe, and so you take some aspect of them and you put it into the thing, and that's how you're able to make seals.
Right.
Also, that means that you could theoretically absolutely make crazy seals with like blood and stuff.
That's
which
the
then
other
is
thought.
They put the blood into the ink, and there you go.
Right, but the idea that a magical creature gives itself by its ink a unique trait, though, is crazy to me. Because to me, that makes me think that the creature itself has actually a form of magic within its own like DNA, within its own actual components that makes it have why does this creature give it more duration?
Yep.
Like,
and so
that...
Yeah, and so then this is going a little bit, out on the limb.
Yeah.
But given that they were talking about the specific effects of different like materials put into inks and all that stuff, and then we have blood being, the thing that the brimmed cap used, right? And it causes a sympathetic magic where it's like, okay, these two things are bonded together, and so now oh hey, the brimmed cap can put something in,
Right, because there's probably blood. There's probably blood in both of them, at least until they give like some kind of specific thing.
Sure, or at the very least, either
or a circle was drawn.
Yeah, either a spell was cast on the bottle itself to make it bind to an established bottle, and then the blood was added, or the blood was the thing that made it sympathetic because I put some of my blood in this bottle, I put some of my blood in that bottle, and they're linked, right?
Yeah.
But that's it feels very poetic and like, yes, that makes sense for sympathetic magic to be established in this world using, or not necessarily because we had the portals, but like one of the aspects of it to be blood. Because if you think about it, what would then be unique to people, right? At least in the traditional sense of differentiating from creatures, it's like, okay, well, we have intellect, we have soul, we have, right? Like all of those things. And so you take the lifeblood, right? And you use that as a component.
Yeah.
Right?
Here's an example of one that I just realized makes a lot of sense as to why it makes the casting seal stuff invisible. Is that the butterfly itself also has like circular shapes and things like that, to where it probably
Blends
magically uses it in such a way to use a form of a cloaking kind of, biological, evolutionary defense mechanism.
Now, the next angle that I would take things if I was really like going deep with this is that implies that it is not just the literal physical things that something does, but it is also kind of the association of those things, like the psyche of humanity maybe has some effect on, like, inherently on the world. What do these magical things do, right?
Thank you.
What does blood mean?
I got sidetracked and I was wanting to go down this angle.
And so then it's maybe that's how the magic works at its core, right? And you get that kind of, the Pholus is an energy field, penetrates us, binds the galaxy together, and then you bring language or runes or circles, and that gives it structure.
All that stuff, though, is tied up in memory. Like, if you think about what our world is built on, it is in tiny little data storage bits.
Sure, both with the information age and everything.
That hold and retain information. Yeah.
But then also every invention
every
is a
bit
memory.
of DNA.
Sure.
Every little building block is either some kind of memory bit storage unit.
Right. A more esoteric example that'll maybe showcase how it's like beyond just the literal, because DNA is a lot more like straightforward, literal kind of memory. Every wheel is a memory of the first, whoever created the idea, came up with the idea first for a wheel, right?
Sure.
Even if it didn't trace back to that person, a bunch of people invented it or something, or every road is kind of a memory of the Roman Empire because they brought roads.
So what I feel like this world is setting up is that the reason why the memory erasure is such a powerful, evocative, emotional part of the society structure and order is because at some basic fundamental level, no human being could go through this world without basically seeing the memories speaking to them through the objects themselves.
Okay.
You would not be able to blind yourself to
You might not
all of
understand
that.
it, but you're going to see it.
You would not be able to understand all of it exactly, but you would be able to see it. So the idea of, the memory issue is not because of people like being able to cast really complex spells and what have you. It's that there was something that was even brought up when they talked about the memory erasure side of things, that it wouldn't just erase your knowledge of what you've seen, but it would erase your curiosity towards magic as well.
Right.
That to me,
as well as the fear of magic.
Well, right. But to me, that's actually the part where it's the most insidious, but also probably the most necessary, is that Coco is special in this world because she's passionate about magic. She is only passionate about magic because she's aware of magic. Right? But at some point, she didn't know that magic was real. She was a young kid or what have you, and she saw the world and its luster and its beauty.
Yeah, or at least didn't
stuff.
know how the magic works. She goes to the fountain to get the water, and the animals are there, and it's like, oh yeah, this thing, the magic rejuvenates or whatever.
No. I'm talking at bare minimum, she's a child. She doesn't know anything.
Yeah, okay.
When you're a child and you're absorbing the things of the world that you see, you start taking in certain things and you go, that intrigues me. I want to know why.
Sure, and that's where you get the babies that as they're growing up, they do something and you're like, where'd you learn that? You know?
Right.
Yeah.
And so what I think they're setting up here, and I'm cooking way too hot here. I totally understand it here, but I think that I get that the creator of the story wants to communicate the desire for people to find joy and luster and beauty in the things and the magic of the world around them.
Right.
And this world is basically living in a paradoxical things that are held against each other of, hey, yes, the magic that you found incredible as a child because nothing made sense and you didn't understand how anything worked.
Sure.
So it was all magical. Then someone came to you and said, there's actually structures and ways that everything works and functions, but there's some things that I don't understand. Sure. Not because we're just in a magical society, but they don't have the capacity to answer the why thing for you. So they give you kind of a half-baked answer there. But for some kids even, that stimulates the curiosity even more of like, wait.
Sure. Yeah,
I still have questions though.
Right. And so you know,
they're tapping into that for the whole nature of the magic system, and even maybe the way that the ink works is built around that in some way.
Okay, you might have lost me there, but
yeah. No,
okay.
Yeah.
No, basically, however deep the show wants to go with this is up to the show, right? When we learn that Ulrugio has a pen that can burn and etch circles into hard surfaces like stone that normally wouldn't go well with ink, we know that that is a thing that it can do. We might think of different ways that probably make it work. Maybe it has a little switch that makes it so that it gets fed ink, or it makes a switch that makes it so that the rune that does the burning and the etching is activated, and it has some connection point. It measures it so that it's like the nib has to be this long because that's how far out it starts the etching or whatever, right? It doesn't need to tell us all of that, but we can infer that those kinds of things are probably how it works because of what we've already learned about the system.
Yeah.
We could go as deep as we just went, theoretically, into this magic system, right? And that's where I feel like a lot of the sort of zeitgeist commonalities with fantasy stories can come about, because that idea of will causing something supernatural to happen, there are certain other things that then can follow, right? Whether you're talking about doing it through drawing or through, command words for spells or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And so then that can, like, from different surface points up here, it can go down the iceberg and get to maybe a similar origin point.
Because at some point, whenever you make a fantasy story, if you've done it, you know this struggle here. You have to separate the lore Bible that you are writing versus the actual story that you need to tell that is built on top of the lore Bible.
Right. Yes.
Nobody is going to sell a lore Bible successfully unless you're, I don't know, J.R.R. Tolkien or whatever. Yeah. I don't know. But even then he doesn't really do that. So for me, this is something where you all have been with the channel for a while. You know this already. But those of you that are potentially new, that are just watching this and stuff, I like to find out where I can draw back down and find the lore Bible and find the actual individual components that the creator is using as fundamental principles to then build a story on top of. Right. And to me, you have to merge the themes with the actual mechanics. And a good story blends them perfectly.
Yes. Right.
And so I am now seeing my first real, I believe, hard connection between the themes of Coco and what she represents in her curiosity and passion for the magic and luster of life and all that, with the actual magic system through what the ink seems to be implying to me. And so that blending of themes and mechanics makes me go, oh, cool. Sure. I don't know if they'll ever use this in any hard, strong plot-related way.
But that's interesting.
That seems really interesting.
Right, and until it gets proven or disproven, it can be my own little headcanon.
Yeah,
right?
it's a great little headcanon that, can absolutely get disproven because we could just have a little thing of like, hey, actually, the burning thing, no, that's just a that's just a magic thing to point at the fact that it really is just the shapes and stuff. It doesn't matter really what's used to draw the shapes. You're cooking way too hard on the ink thing, man.
Or,
it's like,
or
yeah, all right, cool.
Put another way for a different direction with it. This is where I thought you were I thought you were going this way. Is this show is about wonder, right? Mm-hmm. We have magic in the show, and it is beautiful to see. Mm-hmm. And the adaptation does a wonderful job of, showing that to us, right?
Yeah.
But there is also magic in our world, even if it is not written in ink and circles and things like that.
Or itself, actually defying, all
the laws of physics, right?
Physics and stuff.
Technically, in this world, the magic isn't defying their laws of physics either. They just have one that's different than ours, and they still don't understand it very well, right?
Or at the very least, we have a very fun type of story where we use an outsider and a novice who thus has a different perspective on things, but then also doesn't know anything about this stuff there. So she finds wonder in the things that everyone else finds simple, but then she also actually is excited to learn about the things that everyone else has already learned, and thus it makes her an active protagonist.
And so within the world, the approach to it can have the same kind of arcane, pun intended, approach that it would for us in our world, because that thing would actually be magic for us, right? And so we have this whole magic thing, right? Very much tied into themes, and Coco as a protagonist. And then we have this society that is like, magic, yes, but... only the way that we like.
Right. Because if we look at the Knights Moralis, and this is my final bit of analysis on the whole themes, mechanics, blending thing here. The Knights Moralis have a paradoxical state that they need to work within this society, basically. We are the ones that are allowed to cast magic on people.
And probably this very specific kind.
But literally, they probably only have like one type that they're allowed to, which is the memory removal thing here.
And that's probably why it's a solid device, because it's we take this because we cannot draw these ourselves. That's actually a different level of security.
We would obliviate the other one that did that.
Exactly. Like you have a very specific clearance to be able to do something like this, and so we take the physical thing and we go, boop.
But a great example is in their weapons. The actual banneret style little tassel things there that are tentacle powers are always OP. Sure. We had our first example of that already.
But it's also the layer of indirection, so that way they can directly use magic to affect somebody without,
Well, right. But I think that it's thematically actually rather important, because if you look at it, it doesn't look like a weapon. If anything, it's not.
Sure.
And it's not connected directly, really, to any of the primordial elements that we use typically for casting here.
They could be flamboyant ribbon dancers, for all we know.
Right. But they're magical, that they can conjure, like they just repaired it like it was nothing. And it did some cool rotation thing where it's like, okay, let me connect it with the bottom circle underneath it, and then it...
it was probably like an ammo thing, effectively, because you're actually creating matter, and the matter needs to stick around in perpetuity. So it's the...
They're actually creating matter that itself is not...
I don't think that matter was being maintained. I think it's you have a new ribbon now.
Well, right, but also, I was going to say, I don't think it's actually a ribbon. I think if we were to have a microscope on what that stuff is, it is way stronger and way more intense and has properties in it that are absolutely nuts. And yet...
Carbon fiber nanotubes or something. I don't know.
But I feel like merging mechanics and themes here, they can't cast magic on people. But we are absolutely going to cast magic that would boggle your mind to make it look like basically we're not really, breaking any rules here. Because obviously they're not. But it's I cast magic on a thing that I then use to manipulate you. I am using magic to control you.
But that is that is an important distinction that our society has determined is worth having.
But the reason I feel like why that distinction is important is entirely it's a written one. It's we follow the letter of the law. Not the intent of the law.
Right, because it's we are doing this and only this because it gets into funky territory otherwise. That's why we cannot heal the wounds on your son, because that then things are suddenly open to interpretation, and we have people like Kefri who, let's be clear, while I am very interested in his arc and everything, and given societal stuff, he might even be kind of a not bad guy at the very least.
No.
I do not trust him.
No.
Like I trust him for Coco, but like I don't. He not a good person.
So this is actually where I want to push entirely against. I think the Knights Moralis are the true hardest example of the paradoxical stupidity, basically, of magic societies like this, because the Brim Caps exist.
Sure.
Right. The Brim Caps are showing that there's a very real fundamental problem with the society's approach to magic. Like let me cook with this basically. Okay. And Kiefer's character is basically to show that I see it. Everyone else that basically is a dissenter or doesn't, do this stuff well, doesn't communicate, in a helpful way that this is a problem, probably doesn't keep that opinion with the Knights Moralis existing very long. Like they would be seen as a problematic, dissenters that we need to get rid of and stuff.
Right. And so the thing that I was trying to get at before, and why Coco then is the protagonist for this show, is that the active society exists for good reason, but one of the side effects that it is determined to be acceptable is the stifling of all of that other stuff, right, in order to maintain order, right? And so are there many times where they, obliviate people's curiosity or love of magic or something? Sure, absolutely. Is there a possible reason...
They do that whenever they do the memory removal.
Sure. Yeah, and is there a possible reason why Kiefer does not live in the city? Not just because then, you'd have to deal with all these people or whatever, but, like, maybe because...
He gets scrutinized more.
Or enough... magic people get obliviated that, like, is it something where they just turn into an outsider, or is it maybe something where it's just the, a specific aspect of them gets removed, and so then if memories are a part of identity, you're effectively cultivating the psyche of your society.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. No, I 100% believe they're doing that. Kiefer's ease at which he did it to this guy here, and the fact that we can also imply that the Brim Caps did it to Coco in the one encounter that they had there.
Yep.
Even if that was something that was a little bit more...
Like non-literal or something.
Like in a physical space that Coco has no ability to perceive in some way.
Yeah, and or she was still unconscious and so there was nothing to remember, but she was there. Who knows,
Right. She did not perceive those events happening or retain the memories of those events happening.
Yep.
One or both. Either or. This society has basically put itself under pressure for the sake of holding a structure.
Yep.
But the problem is that if your components that build the structure are themselves not actually... they are fragile ones, then you actually make the problem worse for when you bring new material into the society, because then it has to get incorporated somewhere where there's already this amount of pressure and it could crack and you'd have a break. And in fact, that's literally almost the metaphor that the Knights Moralis brought up of like,
all that.
There's one rock gets brought in and it breaks the whole thing. It's like, wait, why does it break the whole thing?
Yeah, maybe that means you have bad construction and that it's too rigid.
Right. Everyone knows for earthquakes and stuff, you don't build it so that it's this hard, solid, immovable
you make
thing.
It so it has give.
You make it so that it can adapt and flex and bend a little bit.
Yeah.
And Kiefer, to me, is that bending.
Oh,
He's the acknowledgement of the, like, hey, rules for thee, but not for me, of course. But
and there are problematic ways in which he will absolutely use that.
But I think it's kind of the understood thing that once you get powerful enough in this world, there's not really anyone that can micromanage your usage of magic to such a degree.
Sure, and that's why they need the obliviating, right? Because that's the only way to actually make sure it doesn't happen, is to take away everything root and stem.
Totally, but wouldn't that create a system where then you'd be more scrutinizing basically the people that you're telling, we need you to get more powerful so that we can then teach more people magic or to maintain the magic. Like, this itself is like a...
It could Ouroboros.
Yeah, it's an Ouroboros system that doesn't really keep itself even healthy. Like...
Well, It can is the thing, and that's why it still exists. But it can be done. It can be taken to such extremes that maybe it starts to fall apart, right? Strength and order, and structure, right?
Yeah, there are no problems in Ba Sing Se.
That is potentially helpful, but yeah, you'll get in.
We are already there.
You can easily get into there are no problems in Ba Sing Se. We might very well already be there.
I think we are 100% already there.
Right, and so then, back to Coco being the protagonist.
Yes.
And Keyfree being the mentor, that totally makes sense.
Right.
Even down to the whole idea of Keyfree having the sword that is also sheathed in water.
Right.
Fluidity, change, all of that. Structure within it, and also dangerous.
Oh,
right?
very
Like,
dangerous.
that is him as a person.
Yes.
And he has, in many ways, from what we've seen of him, been able to basically fuse the pros and cons of society. Still problematic in a different way, He's not a brimmed cap, for sure. And who knows even what the brim caps are after, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, could there be a point where we end up needing to row fight the power of this society itself? Possibly.
100%. But also, it doesn't need to be so black and white. I think we
already had that with the kids being like, I'm gonna burn the, your things because you're doing something that I know to be wrong.
Yeah. And then the part that we just don't really have an answer to, but I just love to basically give to me the very clear sign that a lot of the scare of Keyfree being a bad guy or something is completely not valid because of the way that he responds to the yes, I finally have it.
And I think
there's something about that to me that makes a lot of the trappings of he's scary because he does unethical things with regards to the magic is more scaffolding and structure being built up from the ground up to set up the reveal that the thing that we've been hinting this is very obvious at this point.
He's got the tattoos
all over his body. We had the tattoo stuff reiterated here.
Yep. So I think I agree with you with everything that the narrative is doing for Keyfree with setting him up, right? There is benefit that you get from having mystery and some ominous vibes and stuff for your mentor.
Because he has secrets.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he has secrets, but it also keeps some fun tension into the story. It makes it so that, we are in a similar state to Coco, who does not know everything. And so even though we are seeing things that Coco doesn't see, we're being kept in that similar state, right?
Right.
If Coco,
our interpretation of things is still at Coco's level, basically.
If Coco saw what happened, there would be narrative implications because then there would need to be a conversation or another obliviating because we're not actually in the world. We don't. Right. The show doesn't have to worry about that, and so it can show us stuff like that, and it can be fine. I still think that this is set up for Keyfree to potentially be a bad dude, even though he'll probably have a sympathetic as hell backstory, and we are very much setting that up.
Yeah,
and I think that probably just goes down to our differences on villains and antagonistic figures in story.
Well, right. I think a bad dude is such a vague way of saying it, though. I get where you're coming from here, and that it's, wow, that's mean. You ruined that guy's memory or what have you there. I'm sorry, your whole society is built on the idea that ruining people's memory is totally valid and fine as long as some established higher power of people basically think that it's the right call. Oh, but we have order and structure and we do it for this method here. But I think that by the nature of them not just removing the memory of the event, but for outsiders who break the rules of casting forbidden magic on Coco here, this was this is the Law and Order people coming in and being irrationally unreasonable, to the point where it broke our you guys aren't even interested in the potential knowledge you could gain from this. They're like, no, we must do it immediately. And it's no, that's there for us to go, wait,
this society is messed up.
Even if I have a very bare bones understanding of this society,
right,
this is not smart.
Yeah,
this is not wise.
This is setting up that the Jedi Order will fall, and Keyfree is a lot more antagonistic than Qui-Gon was.
No, totally. But
and I don't think
Qui-Gon. But I think that actually comparing to Qui-Gon is actually a very cool example because Qui-Gon would just willy-nilly try to brainwash people to get things to go slightly faster,
this show is excellent commentary on how, hey, Jedi mind trick, that's actually a pretty dark thing to just do and have be okay.
Yeah, this guy's This guy basically just Jedi mind tricked.
Right.
You know, our equivalent of the Ollivander, you know.
and the reason why I think, because the stuff that you're saying about them setting up the Knights Moralis and showing how they're doing bad stuff by just being like, and now we're here and we're going to obliviate, right?
Yeah.
Is reinforcing that this is a bad thing to do. And Kiefer even himself reinforces to Coco, hey, this could have gone very bad. Do you know what that means to takes away someone's memories? That's really bad.
No.
And then we see him do it.
And we see him do
for
it
the end of the episode, which is fantastic for the episode and everything, right?
Right. And
like,
I think
and such a great way to
and I think in
help us understand him better
context,
as a character.
I think in context, the nuance of the story is that removing someone's memory is absolutely a wise thing to do at times.
Sure,
It's not
absolutely.
necessarily an ethically good thing to do almost ever,
Oh, yeah.
I would say. But there's a difference there between wisdom and morality.
Yes.
Like, something can be wise but immoral.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, and so that's where I think the fun nuance is that Kiefer is absolutely immoral in some of the ways that he uses magic, and we know for sure we just saw him basically do one, but also potentially have context on the previous time when he glared at the guy. We don't know what happened there.
Sure.
All it was is that he became compliant to Kiefer.
Yeah.
There could have been no magic done there, and this is the first actual time that he's done this magic here. But it also could just be no, I actually go to this guy all the time because I've been working this guy for a while.
Sure.
He's actually very easy to manipulate and use, and I've cast spells on him
so
many times.
Yeah.
Like, he even
I'm making his mind a sculpture. You know?
Right. I've even adjusted some of the things about his personality to the point where he is more in line with my ideals and stuff. That's way too far in my opinion. But I'm just saying, in this society, that's
be
almost
absolutely
possible. That's almost possible. Like,
I would even say it's like for sure possible. It just might take a long time and might not go.
It wouldn't make sense for the story to explain how in detail that gets anytime soon.
Right, and or for there to be a situation where that would happen, other than maybe if Kiefer had been working this guy.
So I am on the 90%. Kiefer is Dumbledore. He is not a bad guy in the slightest bit. But Dumbledore did some immoral shit.
I think,
and so it's I have a larger goal in mind, but I am more just manipulative than I am a bad guy.
I think Kiefer is not like, of course, like a bad dude and like he only does bad, or whatever.
Well, but then what do you mean? Like that's
it's the willingness to do a bad thing because you believe it is justified or worth it, right?
But,
or not even justified.
A bad thing is subjective depending on who's
sure.
I cast a fireball at a kid versus I cast a fireball at a brim cap. Like,
oh no,
is casting a fireball a bad thing? Like,
no, right. Kill someone in self-defense versus kill someone because they bumped into you on the street.
Totally,
That's
we don't know the context for why Kiefer erased this guy's memory of the event.
Sure,
we know the item that is the we don't. We know something. We know something. Yeah,
is that this is something that he wants, and he wants it deeply, and
he's wanted it.
Oh yeah, and probably for a reason that we will find very sympathetic. Still, though, like if he had killed the guy, right? That that'd be a bit more extreme, right? Now it wouldn't have necessarily.
I don't think he would ever kill the guy, though. Like that's the thing, though, is that I don't think that makes him.
But I think the reason why he wouldn't do that is because that would be unwise, not because it would be wrong.
No. I think that there's nuance there, and so I think that one of the great examples of Kiefer doing things and threatening things without necessarily having because if you think about what people are capable of doing versus what they actually think is probable to be done. He held a sword to Aesthe's neck. He was threatening to kill the Knight Moralis in that moment, showing the scale and severity of what's going on here, but also in terms of just having a basic bare understanding of this person, Aesthe's. He's like, I'm just going to show him the severity of this thing here by being like, I'm going to threaten to kill you here.
And I will absolutely be talking in a language that will.
I'm just surprised you haven't brought that up because that's actually threatening to do something way worse in a lot of ways.
That's absolutely escalation. But there is at the very least there's at the very least the notion there that he is doing it in order to protect someone who is innocent.
See, but that's the thing. Like,
and so
again, that makes
but there's at least the conversation there. Whereas in the shop, it's just, I want this. He has a reason that he wants it, whatever.
Sure,
cool.
sure.
It's just I want this, and you're in my way, and so I will do this to you.
Right. But I this is again where we could debate the ethics of this all this time. But like, it's a subjective viewpoint on this because again, if this guy's thing is I'm going to report anything that I see as wrong to the police state that is actively removing people's memories. Like, we're already living in a corrupt, messy,
and
immoral...
I can't let you do that.
Right. Like, I would absolutely see it as something where...
No, okay, fair.
You have to just look at the context a slight bit to go, oh, no, I'm not going to have you report to the SS, basically, that this person is...
Okay, fair.
I mean, it leads to the exact same conclusion we had before, which was, I'm going to obliviate and remove all these other people. It's the, so I could obliviate an old guy's thing here. An ethically wrong thing to do, yes.
Sure.
Or I could threaten all the children in my atelier, myself, and anybody that is in the splash zone of that with potential obliviation. Now I'm going to do the sure thing here and do something wrong myself.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm going to take, 30 seconds to, 60 seconds of this guy's memory away.
Right.
I just find it terrifying that Kiefer has the ability to do that, and he did it so brazenly, like you were saying, in a way that he's not worried about what the kid is going to remember, do, or anything about this.
Because at that point, it feels kind of reckless.
Oh, yeah, that's again the thing of where I can then take all that in context and go, oh, that's how important and how emotional that response was to that there.
Yeah.
When people get that emotionally intense with something, they do things recklessly, and thus he removes the guy's memory rather than being like, I need to communicate to you, like I did in the thing there, how severe this is, and I need you to look into my eyes and see.
Yeah.
I am dead serious about this here.
They cannot know about
this. They cannot know about this. And it's nope. That wouldn't work here because that guy was backing away like he had seen something like radioactive being set off in his...
Or maybe at some point Kiefer tried that and he realized that didn't work. And so the next time he does the intimidation thing with the glare, okay, that worked. Oh, there's a point where this guy's still going to do it, so the intimidation thing won't work. All right, memory bye-bye.
Yeah.
So
fun. I love that this show can actually pull so much out of me from the world building alone, but then also the character of Kiefer within this world.
So more Kiefer. This is absolutely set up for his backstory, and I can't wait to get it. If you want to slow burn it and only give it to us a long time from now, that's cool too. Because what you're giving us now is great.
What you're giving us now, as far as the drip feed goes, is great. I just need more people like Olrugio to be friends around him to pull this kind of stuff out in conversations where they're drinking together over some of that wine that you just got, maybe, or something.
Yeah.
And then be like, hey, man, you seem a little bit on edge recently. Maybe you should take it off with a little bit of this. And he's like, oh, I never drink. He's like, yeah, that's why I'm saying you should do this here. It would help you a little bit.
As someone who drinks, I know that this is the time to drink.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm actually sharing the stuff that you bought. So, I mean, it's kind of,
The amount of, bribes that go around in this show, I kind of love. Just whether it's the wine or the hey, I got you a new pack.
Right. He did kind of.
Kiefer is greasing palms.
That is his thing.
I love it.
I love it too.
He absolutely has the Chica energy of oh, here's a soda. Is this a bribe? Of course not. I just figured you might want a soda. Anyway, so what are we doing today?
Yes. Oh, that's
yeah.
so good. But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and pretty long discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. Get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. Also, be sure to check out our Twitch channel. See if any of that interests you. We'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.